I thought maybe we could talk about something else that is often quite misled in the practice, and that's the Bagua turning, the Bagua circle walking. Because I always remember when I first met you, you said to me, "Oh, let's have a look then." And the first thing you said is, your arms are too straight. What's this doing? Your centre's over here. You've got one foot going straight line, one foot going around, and I've been practicing various styles thinking, this is what I'm being told. But the one thing I've realised with the Bagua we practice, it makes you think. You're always, whilst you're practicing, you're always thinking why, what's going on, why have I got my elbows out, why am I turning everything into the centre, why am I not crossing my legs, why am I swinging out and round? And I think that often isn't explained very well in the Bagua field, maybe, many reasons as to why, but I've realised that since practicing the things you say, suddenly it works. It works in the MMA environment. Obviously I'm not going to use the fingers in the eyes, that kind of thing, but all of everything else, hand work, the footwork, the body work, it's all there.
Yeah.
Whereas prior to that, it didn't work, and maybe I didn't know why, but through the practice it answers the questions. So I thought maybe you could tell us a little bit about it, maybe show us.
For example, you mean the actual circle itself?
The actual turning, because often, people don't know why they're doing it,
in a circle,
and when they're doing it, what it's actually for. They might be, channeling chi, for all they know.
Let's start off by saying you could practice in theory along a straight line.
Yeah.
So you could do it along a straight line. Obviously, with the circle, you have much more. You don't have to use a massive space, so you can use a tiny space. So it's perfect. But you could, in theory, practice along a straight line. There's no no reason why you couldn't. It's that space. So you're turning the circle with space. So basically, the circle is made up of two steps. One is a bai. I don't know if you want to change the camera angle there. Okay. Lift the lever at the back.
There we go.
Right. So the circle is made up of two steps. Yeah. One is bai, the inward step, and one is a ko. So you have two steps. So both of them are either locking, or kicking, or sweeping, or tripping. That's the component of the circle. So one is an outward step, one is an inward step. One is an outward step, one is an inward step. So that constitutes the circle, and those two moves, what you do see is a lot of people cross-stepping the circle. So they cross, which is just lazy, and it's not taught properly, and it has no function. So
if anything, you're putting you at a bad, bad position.
It's just not practical, and it doesn't work. So the idea is we're kicking.
It's the legs.
Yeah. So the inward step is kicking here. Yeah. So I need to come in to create the angle. Okay. If I try to kick from here, it's not so effective. Well, it's not so effective. It's not so painful. I can kick you here.
Yeah.
It's not as painful as inside on the femoral, on the nerve. Okay. So I need to get the angle to kick. So that's my outside. That's my inside kick. Okay. And if you were to retreat, then I could use my outside kick to kick here, or I could use my outside kick straight away to kick the inside. Okay. I can kick low. I can kick high, just below the knee. Okay. So that's basically the circle. That's basically the circle, and within that there are a lot of different attacks and even sweeps and locks.
Yeah, and again, when we do it, it's very natural. There's no emphasis on pushing off of this foot, grabbing with this foot, so to speak, or keeping the legs straight. It's all very natural,
most
like
of the
you
time
would just
we
walk
practice,
down the street.
Yeah, what we call a lion step, or just a natural step, which is just a heel-toe step. There are other stepping methods, but they're
all for specific things.
purposes. Yeah, absolutely. But most of the time, it's just a natural lion step. Yeah.
Could you maybe elaborate on the actual, the importance of the centre of the circle, the centre of your body? Because when prior to this, I didn't even know about a spiral, and in fact, what I'd be doing is just getting myself in a tangled mess. Whereas obviously, what we're trying to create is that constant coil through the body.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, I mean, basically, if you're walking the circle, you have to make sure. You see a lot of people walking like this. Okay, so the center line. See my center here. is over here, and my hands are over here, which is, you know, you wouldn't go into a fight like
No.
this. No, you go into a fight like this. You would protect your center. And that's the first thing you've got to learn, really, in any, you know,
Any art.
yeah.
You hope.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So protect your center. So I'm keeping my center, and I'm twisting my waist. So I still have my center line. So the hardest thing to do now is to start to walk with my center twisted, torqued. So I need to buy, and as I walk, you see, I'm constantly pulling my center out. I don't want to start doing this. And before I know it, my center is over here, my hands are over here, and I'm back to the same mess I was before. So as you step, you have to be pulling your center around with you as you twist. Okay, so it's hard to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not easy.
Fundamental.
It's very easy to start walking like this. Okay, and this hand has to be pushed away. Even if you were doing this, you can't do this. You have this arm too close. You get it trapped, so you have to push the arm away. Okay. So if it's here or here, okay, push this arm away from you. This position. Okay. So it's not easy to keep the torque on. It's very difficult to. It's very easy to do this and drift off, and you lose your center, and think you're, you know.
That's the thing. That's why your mind and your body have to be so involved in every
You
little
have to
movement.
think about your step. You have to think about your body talking. You have to think about your hands on your center line. You know, have to keep your body nice and straight. You don't want to be doing leaning like this. Your head everywhere. Head has to be in the, you know, in the center all the time. Yeah, and pulling from here, moving from the center.
Yeah, so you're not rocking back and forward.
Well, you don't want to be doing this. You see a lot of, you know, sticking your butt out.
Yeah.
Has to be pulled from here, as if somebody's pulling you with a string from the center. So when you move, your center moves.
Everything moves.
Your center moves first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not your hands, not your
Not
feet.
your hands. No. Your hands move first. Easy to get pulled over. There's your balance. Okay, so Not easy, not easy. And also in the Bagua they have this, you know, this turning step, as you know, this kind of, so you can step behind as well.
Yeah, and obviously to begin with, you just walk in a circle, back and forward round it. But as we know, legs down the line, you can have as many circles as you want, small ones, big ones.
Yeah, start to add circles. Yeah, so you start off by adding one more circle.
And like
so
a figure of eight.
Figure eight, yeah. And then add another circle. So once you can master 3 circles, then you know your footwork should be pretty good, and you're pretty free to go, you know, basically anywhere you want. So start off with 1 circle, do 2 circles, add 1 more. It's like a triad, you know, so you have the triptych.
Yeah, in a triangle of circles, and you can invert the triangle.
Exactly. And then you're free to go where you want, which is where you want to be headed. You want to be able to, here's my circle here, small circle. Oh, and then I create a new circle here. And then I go back to my first circle. And then my third circle is here. Back to my first circle, second circle, third circle. First circle, yeah, second circle, third circle. Back to my first circle to finish.
And that's the thing, you're doing that in, this is quite a small space.
Very small. So the teacher would always tell you, you should be able to practice your martial art on a tabletop. That's when you really know it.
Sure. Yeah.
Tai Chi, Bagua, Singi, Baji. He was a famous Baji teacher. And he's always say, if you understand it, you can practice it on top of a table. Chinese tables are round traditionally, you know, old tables. Practice it on a table. If you need, so you really understand what you're doing. In the form, it's go forward, but you can't go forward, so you have to go back.
How do you apply it in a different way?
You have to go back. Next moves back, you can't go back, you have to go forward. So your hands and your feet have to be.
And again, that's making
you haven't got time to think. You haven't got time to think.
Yeah.
So.
But also, you can't just follow the pattern that someone's already given you. You've got to do it.
Exactly. You have to break the pattern, and you know, do it how you want eventually. But yeah, so if you can do 3 circles on a tabletop, then
Yeah, send us the video.
Yeah, if you can do that, then yeah, you get a medal, you get a free biscuit.